don't go too complicated and too, you know, lots of different things. Keep it simple. There is hyacinths in the fridge as well that we need to get out that you can use, which can incorporate in there if you want to. It's about an hour assessment, which seems a lot, but actually it's not, because it's quite a lot of processes. So, as I say, keep it simple. So if your bridesmaid comes into your shop and they wanted the circlets for all your bridesmaids, sometimes you're not going to be able to get every bridesmaid into the shop to measure their head. Okay? The circlet's like a halo that goes around their head. So the best thing to do is ask your bride to cut a piece of string when they see their bridesmaids next, of what length they want it made. So it'd be like a measurement around their head. And then you would make your design based on the measurement they give you. Okay? Rather than asking all the bridesmaids to come into your flower shop. Okay? So that's usually the sort of purpose. For the assessment, we'll give you a piece of string that everyone will have the same. So for fairness, you're not going to get some that are going to make them for dolls, some for adults. Yeah, everyone's going to have the same. Elaine, there's some hyacinths in the fridge as well if you want to get them out. Hyacinths, white ones. So the first thing I do is I make my frame. I've just found these really lovely long wires in the thing, and these are actually quite good. Usually they're shorter, so you'd have to join them. Okay, so I actually will join it because it isn't long enough. But to start with, we're going to start off with our parafilm. So what I do is I tape upwards to here, to the end, let the tape keep attached, bend it over, so it's like what I call an eye, okay, and then start bending it, taping downwards, and taping the raw wire. Now at this stage I want to actually join another wire to the bit shorter. Okay, so just to overlap, you don't want to go right on the end, overlap it quite a bit here because it gives it a bit more strength. Then tape them together. Oops. Just going to go back to that bit a second. So it's a hook and an eye at each end. Okay. So I always do the wire a bit longer than I need to start with. Then you'll measure this, so measure it not including the eye first. Still need a bit more.
What's like, is that 70 or?
It is, it's a 70, but it's a really long one. I think they come from the Dutch ones, and they're really good actually.
We just have to join them together, didn't we?
And then that will cut it off, and that becomes your hook. So one end is an eye, and one end is a hook. So when it's actually round the bridesmaids, it's attached like that. Okay, like that. But we'll actually put a little ribbon bow there as well after. Okay, so that's how it will be sort of formed, really. Now the process is, and I'm going to start it, but then I want you to, we'll come back and have a look at the construction, is I would work in tens. So 10 roses, 10 bits of gyp. I'm going to do gyp and ming because it's much easier and quicker and simple, but you can do hyacinths if you want. Okay, so you're going to have little bunches, always using silvers. Try and make the bunches the similar thickness, okay? So double leg mount, don't need to keep twisting it, just keep it straight. Everything has to be individually taped. Okay, so you do 10 of them, 10 spray roses. Just gonna take off a couple of them. Silver wires, it can go through. You don't need to worry about pinning it with the sepals, okay? So 10 of them. Tape individually as high as you can get it as well. If the tape breaks off, it doesn't matter, just put it back on there. And then 10 little bunches of gyp, which are about the same thickness as your Ming fern. You may need more, but as a rough guideline, we'll stick to 10s at the moment. So what we're going to do is eventually these are going to go round in a pattern. So if we imagine 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We may need a couple more, but we'll see how we get on. Okay, so I want you to wire up 10 bits of foliage. You can do ivy leaves as well, but ivy sometimes can be quite tricky to cover. So you can use the Ming. A little bit of gyp's quite good for filler. and the rose. The idea is that the rose will be sort of sandwiched between the two when we place it on the design. Okay? So prepare your frame, prepare your bits like that, and then once we've done that, then we'll come together and I'll show you how to construct it.